Hello, Internet. This is MTGO with a deck that is, for once, not Whir Lantern. It's some other form of Lantern control. On the YouTube community page, I posted a poll seeing if you guys wanted something more janky or something that was more serious, but something that was not Whir. It's been very close in the polls, but it looks like jank has been very slightly ahead, or it's been tied, either one. But it seems like the jank wins. I'm going to call it now. It's been about 48 hours at time of recording. So what's different about the deck? Today we're going to be running Beseech the Mirror. This is the brainchild of somebody else in the Lantern community Discord, and then three of us came together on a Saturday night and just hashed it out and let our imaginations run wild for a couple hours. And more or less, a lot like the deck building decisions that are in here came from the sample list that they had come up with. I made some modifications to try and smooth out the deck list and make it closer to something that I'm more familiar with, but by and large, this is the list that they had come up with. So partial credit to Maple Series and Dr. Bright. So what is Beseech the Mirror? It is a 4-mana sorcery. It costs 1 in triple black. It has Bargain, meaning that I can sacrifice an artifact, enchantment, or token as I cast the spell. You tutor for a card, exile it face down, then shuffle. If you bargained, you get to cast it for free as long as the card costs 4 or less. Otherwise, you just put it in your hand like a normal tutor. So Beseech the Mirror, on paper, is supposed to emulate what Whir of Invention does. Because for the price of 4 mana, it's even a triple costed spell, or triple color costed spell, you can fetch anything you want out of the deck. So normally that's going to be something like Ensnaring Bridge, but you can also grab Lantern Lock pieces, you can grab Needles and Cages if you need them, you can grab a trophy with Beseech the Mirror, which is an upside over Whir of Invention. Beseech can grab anything as long as it costs 4 or less. That is much less restrictive than Whir of Invention, where you need to pump mana into it to grab only artifacts, and the cost for them gets increasingly high the more expensive of a thing you're tutoring. Also, Beseech the Mirror is on color for the one color that the majority of Lantern decks run, which is black. So that means that we can run our full 7-card discard suite without having to compromise the mana base. Now, that being said, Beseech the Mirror is still a triple color costed spell. So that means that we do have to make some sacrifices in the mana base. Now, the first thing that I've done is I've added 3 Talisman of Resilience. Lantern somewhat notoriously has problems casting spells that cost more than 3 mana. Part of that is because the deck only runs somewhere between 21 and 23 lands on average. And we run Urza's Sagas, which means that our mana disappears over time. So consistently having access to 4 mana is difficult. Talisman should help buffer that. It also means that we can ramp out Beseech the Mirror on turn 3 if we want. So I've run 3. I think a playset might be valuable, but I chose to run 3. We're also running 22 lands, and because, again, the triple color requirement in Beseech, I'm not running things like Fomori Vault, and I've trimmed 1 or 2 gardens. So we're on 2 copies here. I'm also running a few cards that you don't really see anymore. Like, I'm running 1 Glimmer Void just because it can tap for black and green, and it enters untapped. I'm running 2 copies of Llanowar Wastes for similar reasons. I've added a 5th fetch land in Bloodstained Mire, so that I'm more likely to be able to grab the Overgrown Tomb here. I've also added 1 Surveil land. I think that this deck is going to be going a little bit slower than other lists, so I'm more likely to have unspent mana in the early turns. That means that there will be times where I have a Verdant Catacombs that I want to fetch with, and I just don't have anything else to do other than fetch a Surveil land. So I did end up cutting the basic forest. I don't think that there's a whole lot of Blood Moons running around right now, so I don't really need to have the forest, which is going to be harder, or it's going to make Beseech harder to cast. So I'm just going to ignore it. We'll see how that decision works out. One other key change in the deck is, well, first off, we're running candy trails. You've seen this in my Whir videos at this point. That's in what I'm considering more or less a staple now. Instead of cards like Preordain or Ancient Stirrings, I have the candy trails. I've liked them a lot. But Beseech the Mirror needs artifacts to sacrifice, so Candy Trail ticks off another box there while still churning through the deck. Other than that, the list looks basically the same as a stock Lantern list. So you've got your cookbook, you've got your cage, you've got 2 needles. I'm running 2 Pixie here because I don't have any surgicals in the main board. That is one big difference that I should note, is that this list doesn't have any room for surgicals. You could probably find some room, but then the artifact count has to go down, and Beseech requires artifacts, and you have to sacrifice them. So that means that you have to be okay with putting that artifact in the graveyard. So I'm not going to be sacrificing a whole lot of lanterns for the Beseech the Mirror. It's probably going to be something like a Talisman, or a Mill Rock if I have redundant Mill Rocks, or maybe a Bauble if I leave it around for a turn. Something like that. The sideboard looks pretty similar to... we'll call it an adapted form from my Whir list. So we have 2 Soulless Jailers, 2 Damping Spheres. There's 1 Curse Totem, which we can tutor with the Beseech the Mirror. So same reason why I only run 1 Curse Totem in Whir, is because I can tutor that out. 1 Soul Guide Lantern, that's my Saga Tutorable Graveyard Hate spell. I have a Torpor Orb in here for the energy mashup. I'm also running 3 Terra Sunders, which is pretty standard in most traditional lists. The fact that we're running green means that we get good 1-ring removal, so may as well run it. I'm also running 2 other cards that are here more or less because Beseech the Mirror is in the deck. So the first one is Bontu's Last Reckoning. There are some stock lists now that are running Bontu's in the sideboard because the Boros energy matchup is getting very popular, and it's going even lower to the ground than it used to be, which means that sometimes they get under the bridge. They go really wide. They spam a lot of tokens. Second card is Necromentia. It's an extraction spell. It's similar to the Stone Brain. A big difference between this and the Stone Brain is that, well, first off, it's not an artifact, so it can't be picked off with removal. But you give your opponent zombies instead of cards if you take things out of their hand. That's really good if you have something like an Ensnaring Bridge out already. And a lot of the times when you're boarding in Necromentia, the zombie doesn't make a big difference on your opponent's clock. They're either just going to beat you to death with something way larger than a zombie, or they don't have combat normally, so the 2 damage a turn isn't going to be a big deal. 2 Collective Brutalities is pretty standard for me. Some people run 3. I like to run 2. I haven't seen a whole lot of burn floating around recently, so 2 seems like an adequate number. And lastly, I have a Surgical Extraction that I could tutor with Beseech the Mirror if I want. This was a Fatal Push, and right before I started recording the list, I threw in the Surgical instead. I don't think Fatal Push makes a whole lot of sense in the board here, so I have a Surgical. If you like what you see here and you want to give it a spin, Moxfield link is in the description. I'm going to be linking a folder now that has all of the YouTube lists that I play. Eventually I'll have to organize that a little bit better, but the folder should stay the same. If you're watching this in the distant future, you should at least be able to find this list without too much difficulty. I'm also going to link the Lantern Community Discord in the description. That's where this deck was formed initially. If you have any comments, or you want to find a deck list that is likely going to work a little bit better than this one, check that out. Alright, battle time. Hey Internet, it is MTGO in the editing booth with a quick disclaimer. This deck does not win, pretty much at all this entire league. I know that for deck brews and stuff, normally players don't expect much, but I was not on the ball today the day I was recording these. So, just be prepared, buckle in if you're still interested, then or to see how the games go. There are still some exciting matches and stuff, but If you want to see some more successful stories with some more tried and tested builds, I'll try and see if I can figure out how the YouTube cards work. I'll pop up the playlist recommendation in the corner here and take a look at those. But if you're still willing to stick around, I do go in the conclusion and explain basically what I think is wrong with the deck, what needs to be improved. But I think by and large, there was a lot of user error in the league as well. So just be warned. You have been disclaimed. I go to video now. All right, match 1. We're on the play. My opponent has revealed Gigantha. So that means that they're probably on Prowess. How does this hand feel against Prowess? So right now I'm on turn 1, play Lantern. Maybe crack Bauble, depending on what's on top. Turn 2, I can Mortuary and Lantern again. Turn 3, I can Bridge. It's not fantastic. It's not highly interactive either, so this might just fold. I might have needed a Thoughtseize to interact with Prowess. Maybe what I do instead is I go turn 1 Mortuary and then Bauble myself. I can run out the Bauble first and see what I want to do. I have another Bridge on top. Ugh. This was probably wrong. I don't think I sequenced that right, but Talisman is really nice. Ooh, Swamp on turn 1 and Inquisition. Are they on a rack build? Opponent takes the Bridge. So I think what I'm doing this turn is I'm not playing the Talisman. I'll do that next turn. I'll just play Lantern Pixis. Molten Collapse hits the Lantern. I have an Inquisition on top. They know I have a second Lantern, right? Yeah, they know I have 2 Lanterns, so they probably hit this Pixis. I don't think I'm mad if they target the Pixis. I'm gonna let them have the Molten Collapse. I want this Inquisition pretty badly. Scamless Scam? Are they just playing some Rakdos mid-range shell? Yeah, I guess it's just like Rakdos. Good stuff. I don't want this Besiege, so I'll be looking to discard that soon. Oh, wow. They have Kolagon's Command and Molten Collapse. They also have a Kroxa. That's annoying. So maybe I do want this Beseech the Mirror. Nah, I don't have enough mana to cast Beseech the Mirror right now. Okay, I'm not discarding Kroxa. I shouldn't pay attention to that. I think I'd take Kolagon's Command. I don't think they get to have... Well, Fable doesn't do a whole lot. They don't have a lot in their deck that I really care about. I think Fable's one of those things that I really care about. It provides a lot of value. Oh, never mind. They're fetching it away. Interesting. They want to keep their Bolt, though. I will let them have Bolt. Ooh, they have Bob. They have Dark Confidant. Look at that. That's cool. They're making me discard a card. Because they have Molten Collapse, I want to keep my Lantern. I'm going to discard my Besiege. There's only 2 bridges left in my deck. The odds that I hit another one are pretty low, so I think I need to hold on to this Besiege. So I think on my opponent's upkeep, I'm going to Pixis. The Cage doesn't do anything for me either. I am really gunning for a land right now. Okay, upkeep, I will Pixis. Candy Trail buys me some time. In response to the Scry, I kind of want this land anyways, so I'm just gonna draw it right now. Bottom both. Oh, I let them keep a Kroxa. Oh, so I'm discarding this Beseech. That's a mistake on my part. That's really bad. I shouldn't have let them keep that. I also just let them keep a Dark Confidant, which is... Actually, that's probably fine. Dark Confidant's not a big deal. But this Kroxa is a big deal. Upkeep, I will mill. Oh, I'm getting to play my Beseech this turn. So I'll just cast Beseech then. Cast with Bargain. Then I will sacrifice the talisman. Grab a bridge. I will cast it for free. What are they holding up mana for? They have Kroxa, right? Am I crazy? I swear they have another Kroxa in hand. So I need a cookbook to stabilize against all of the Kroxas that they're going to throw at me, I think. I'm not happy about them getting a Bowmasters, but I think that has to happen because they have a Molten Collapse. If I crack a Lantern, they just kill the other Lantern. There's only one more Lantern in my deck, too, because I Pixis a third one away. So I imagine that they escape Kroxa this turn. Okay. That's fine, because I still have something to discard this turn. Oh, so I'm still at 6, actually. I'm not at 3. Oh, they have to fetch to pump Nethergoyf. And then they Galvanic Discharge as well to get in for 2 extra damage. Sure. That's a funny interaction. So I'm going to go to 4. They have a Bowmasters, so I'm at virtual 3. I don't want them to have this bolt. So I'm going to exile these. That's another Lantern. Oh, I could have played Inquisition actually and just taken their Bowmasters. Uh-oh. This is going to be my classic game one. I make a lot of inexplicable blunders. Isn't it? Okay, well, I have a Lantern. I don't want them to have the Kroxa. Yeah, that Kroxa will kill me. They can have the Inquisition. They have an Amped Raptor on top of their library. They can have Amped Raptor. I can usually control what they hit off of the Raptor. Okay, they're destroying their own Kroxa. That makes sense. That checks out. Mycosynth Gardens is going to copy Pixis. They can't Kroxa this turn, but they can next turn. And that will kill me. Oh, and I got rid of my cage, too. Yeah, I don't think I get out of this anymore. Even if I hit a cookbook, I don't have a way to get a food out of it right away. And I don't have a surgical in the deck in the main board. Yeah, okay. I'm certain there was a way that I could have navigated that where I don't lose the game. But I made a lot of blunders that game. I should get some water or something. I just had a big meal. I'm having the carb crash. So I want Soul Guide and Surgical for the Kroxas. It looks like they're running a lot of Kroxas too. I could run Torpor Orb as well. They run Kolaghan's commands, and that is probably their only direct interaction with Ensnaring Bridge, so as long as I can stick a bridge, the orb blocks off the Kroxa forever. Pithing Needles, I think, can come out. Or one needle can come out, I think. Maybe, probably not both. There are times where I want to name the back half of Reflection of Kiki Chiki. Maybe the 2 baubles. There are 26 artifacts main board for Beseech the Mirror. That's a lot of artifacts. So cutting a couple isn't that bad. I don't think. I'm thinking about adding Bontus as well. They are a combat-focused deck. Yeah, I'll add it in. Okay, we get the play again. I have 2 bridges. Candy Trail can look for another land. I have half of a lock, and then the trophy can slow them down. I think this is a good 7. Okay, Beseech to the bottom. That's a land. I'm not going to complain that I have to shock it in. I just need the land. I'm thinking whether or not I crack the Candy Trail next turn, or if I just play Pixis and pass. I think I'm on Pixis and pass. Yeah. So I'm going to play Overgrown Tomb tapped. Opponent fetches. They play Bob. You got it. Cool. Never punished. I think I just slam a bridge. If they have surgical, this will feel bad. Because like or if they have removal and surgical, it'll feel bad, but I need to empty my hand somehow. I do need to answer Bob soon, so I will trophy Bob soon. Okay. Opponent removes my Pixis. Plays another Goyf. I might want to surgical that Molten Collapse later. I think this turn I'm going to trophy the Confidant. Yeah, maybe when I have something on the table that I care if they Molten Collapse, I'm going to stop them on their draw step. They probably don't run a ton of basics, so I want to give them a chance to draw their basics. Okay, they have another Nether Goyf. Yeah, this is fine. Okay. This feels kind of bad. So, they're destroying my bridge. And making me discard a card. I really want to surgical that Kolaghan's command, but I also need to hold up bridge. So I think what I have to do here is discard the surgical. And I slam the bridge next turn. Okay, I go to 11. Play bridge number 2. Okay, and I am out of surgicals. I board in 1. That's all I had. So I am very incentivized right now. Ooh, they have a Blood Moon. That's bad. I am very incentivized right now. I lost my train of thought. To get a Lantern now. That was what I was going to say. Urza Saga hurts. I'm going to crack the Candy Trail. Okay. I'm just going to run out the Saga to keep my hand count low. Okay, opponent gets rid of Pixis number 2. Okay. In top deck, Glimmer Void. That is a mountain. We are kind of approaching the point where if I keep top decking lands, I might just pop this Shredder, grab another bridge. Like, and I just bank on the fact that I can get some interaction together before they draw all of their artifact removal for bridge. I think that's where I'm at, honestly. Oh, actually, I could Codex Shredder. Get back Surgical. And Surgical can get rid of all of their Kolaghan's commands. They're about to do Kroxa. That might impact my Surgical play if they get rid of the spells that I care about targeting. Really thinking about this one. They might be trying to figure out how to get Nether Goyf just the right size. They might be trying to make it a 0/1 or something. Well, then they can't. They can't exile their whole graveyard, so that's not going to happen. Okay, Kolaghan's command is still in the graveyard, so I think my line is still the same. Yep, I discard. I could also get rid of Kroxus forever, but... Oh, wait, no, sorry, that doesn't sacrifice itself. Never mind. Sacrifice, get back Surgical. I'm just going to fire this off now. Okay, now let's figure out how they're going to try and kill us. Beseech is a dead card that rots in my hand. I do have a cookbook still. But, okay, they just topped another Blood Moon. They have one other one. If they find a Bowmaster, they can ping me 1 damage per turn. And I have no way of tutoring for a Needle because Blood Moon shuts off. Blood Moon shuts off Urza Saga, and I have no reasonable way right now of casting Beseech the Mirror. So I just have to draw my 1-of Pithing Needle. They don't have any more Molten Collapses, it looks like. That's a mountain. There is a world where Dark Confidant just kills them, but they do have bolts that they can use on their own Confidant if it gets that close. Okay. Play Amped Raptor. What you get? Galvanic. Cool. That's a card. I don't know why I'm holding priority on their turn. I'm just burning my own clock. Okay, what do we get? Uh-oh. Oh, they have a bunch of 2/3s as well. That's really bad, actually. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Oh, yeah, I just died. Never mind. Alright, I didn't think about Blood Moon. I didn't consider that at all when I made my mulligan decisions. Okay. On to match 2. Okay. I got my comfort hoodie on. I just realized that I forgot to take my allergy meds. So that might explain the brain fog. If you hear me sniffling, then that's because I have to take the nasal stuff. Oh wait, you're not going to hear me sniffling. I cut that out in post. Either way, on to match 2. I feel like I'm going to make a lot more mistakes with this deck than I'm going to be making with the other lists. Like, but Whir, obviously, because Whir I know how to play. But the traditional Lantern list I have some experience with as well. This is an oddball deck where I'm running a bunch of talismans and like I do have some tutors, so it kind of plays like Whir, but I also like not really. We were also playing against a, I mean, I would consider it a rogue list. It has the scam parts, but it was trying to play a fair game. That's kind of me just coping because that was a good matchup for me. But all right, we're on the play. They also revealed Gigantha. So how do I read this hand? It has 1 land and it has Beseech. Those two are really not going to go well together. It does have a bunch of 1-drops, including a slew of discard, but if they're playing like Prowess or Domain or something, like I'm not going to have a fun time reaching a bridge. My opponent is not a Nadu fan. I'll just give him a little winky face. A mulligan. Okay, Cookbook is going to be good because they're most likely an aggressive list. Lantern is nice, Bobble's nice, Candy Trail gets me somewhere. I will bottom... We're going to have a lot of artifacts, so I think I'm cool chilling with the Glimmer Void. I think I bottomed the Gardens. It's getting annoying. I'm going to be banned. Do these people really need the play points that bad? I think I lead on... I'm going to bobble them. I want to see what they're playing. Okay, they're on Jund Saga, probably. I can Needle Wrenn in 6. That's good. I don't think I need the 3rd land right now. Oh, they're playing some Naya deck. That's an Ocelot Pride. Okay. That's interesting. Interesting indeed. I'm gonna fetch a Swamp. Or actually, let me run out the Lantern first. Let's see what's on top of my deck. I don't think I want a trophy right now. Shredder's much better. Yeah, I'll just run out of Renin. A Needle naming Renin 6. I do want a Needle for the back half of a Johnny at some point, but I do also need a bridge. I shouldn't forget that. I don't have a bridge yet. I do forget that for a couple turns sometimes. That's a big deal. They have a Shadow Spear on top. I'm not worried about that. Oh, and they have Urza Saga. They're a green-based deck with Urza Saga. That means they probably have Haywire Might. Okay, Mortuary. Well, I'm going to dump my hand on the table. So I can at least stabilize my life total for now with the Cookbook. Or, well, actually, I have Candy Trails. I should be cracking these because I get to draw a card off of them, too. But... okay. They found the Ajani. That's scary. Okay, I don't want a Candy Trail. I want a bridge. Urza Saga. I don't want that. Well, I can play that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage next turn. Jesus Christ. Okay. So I can crack the Candy Trail, draw this Urza Saga, discard it to the cookbook, and then crack it for a food again. Or crack that food for more life. Crap, Pirate Spell Bomb. That's wild. Okay. I'm just going to do all of this right now. Okay, I go to 7. My opponent has 1 land. They flip a Johnny, they minus a Johnny, and then I get whacked for like a bajillion and a half. Wow, that was a lot. Okay. Torpor Orb comes in. Reckoning comes in. Collective Brutalities come in as removal. Graft Diggers. Well, they do run Ren in 6. I think a Needle. I don't know what to take out. I think the trophies come out. I think whenever they have permanents that linger around, they're just going to have immediate board value. I don't think that... I'm gonna... Well, okay, I'll even 1. Just so I can beseech it. Does every deck feel like naughty for you? Are you saying the deck's bad? I think this matchup is going to be very fast, so I don't think I can afford to run the beseeches at all. That's my conclusion. I will leave in the Graft Diggers because they might run Flage. I don't think I should read too hard into the fact that they only had a 2-lander that game. If I'm not running Beseech, I can cut a Talisman as well. Okay, I'm mulliganing that hand because it has no lands in it. This will be a 4-land hand. Should I choose to keep it? They will be running Static Prison for removal, but that's it. And they're probably not too worried about mulliganing towards removal. They are mulliganing. I think I bottom the Overgrown Tomb here. I can turn 1, Lantern. Turn 2, I could play Shredder and then tap land if I need to, or fetch something away if I need to as well. This is a flimsy hand, but this is like the bare minimum of keepable, I think, and I don't want to mulligan into Oblivion. They do run green as well. I gotta keep that in mind. They're gonna drop a Spell Bomb. Nope, there's a Static Prison. They have turn 1 Guide of Souls. Roger that. I'm going to Codex Shredder first. I want to see what's on top of their deck before I choose to Thoughtseize them. Okay, that's better. Haywire Might, Static Prison. Yikes. They have Boseiju, Static Prison, and Haywire Might. They do need green mana to pop Haywire Might, and they need to play the Boseiju at the moment to do that. So I think I take the Static Prison, and then they have to spend 1 resource to do the other. I'll figure that out later. Okay. They get in with Guide of Souls. So they do play Boseiju. Play Ocelot Pride. They probably just run out the Haywire Might too. Just because it's a creature. It does damage. Pithing Needle on top is really important. So I think what I'm going to do is... Oh, that's unfortunate. I have to shuffle this away, I think. So my opponent can... I want to make a construct. But if I do that, I have to crack this Verdant Catacombs, which means the Pithing Needle goes away from the top of my library. Now, that's not the end of the world, as long as my opponent doesn't kill the Saga next turn, because then I can't... Oh, well, never mind. Actually, that doesn't matter. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I will pass the turn. They're going to draw their Flage. Guide of Souls gets to put counters on something. You gotta put it on the Ocelot Pride, okay. Do you have removal? Do you have a galvanic discharge? No, you're just doing that to get in. They're gonna crack that Haywire Might anyways. So I'm not gonna block it. Guide of Souls is gonna continuously be a problem. Okay, second main. Haywire Might goes off on the Saga, that's right. Okay. That makes sense. They play Spell Bomb. They get a cat. Okay, so I'm still alive. I'm thinking about milling the Bauble. I think that's correct. Torpor Orb is not good until I get a bridge. Collective Brutality is... the Ocelot Pride's a 3/3. Never mind, that's not good. So I'll play the Mortuary. I'll put this in the graveyard. I'll run out of Candy Trail. Bottom both. Okay. Opponent's going to put me to 8. Play another Ocelot Pride. Lots of those. I mill myself. Well. Springleaf Drum. They can't play Flage this turn. They can play it next turn. So opponent 3 has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage on the table right now. That means that I have to crack this Candy Trail to stay alive. Yeah, I think I just fell behind this game. I don't care about Soul Guide Lantern. Okay. Mill myself here. There's a bridge. That's unfortunate. So Torpor Orb kills me because I don't have mana. Okay. That's brutal. I think I have to treat that matchup like it's burn. Thinker is a popular member in the community Discord, and he's currently running 3 Bontu's Reckonings. I think I can kind of see why. I haven't had a ton of experience against Boros. A lot of the times, they don't seem to go super wide. That list definitely goes wide, though. The one that they were playing just now. I think there's a few flavors of Boros right now. I wonder why they were running Ren in 6. That seems odd. I don't think they care about Ren in 6 in that deck. Alrighty. Ah, well, we're down 0-2. Hopefully we can come back from this. See you in match 3. You know what? This is a brew. I'm here to have fun in this league. I'm not expecting to get my points back. I shouldn't be playing this expecting to 5-0 or something. Let's have some fun, right? It's the Jank Tank. We're here to play fun cards. This is just honest to get this Lantern hand right there. And Talisman helps us get to bridge. Cool. Let's keep it. We're on the draw. Playing against Eldrazi. Coolio. They get a Devourer of Destiny. So I'm inclined to run out a turn 1 Shredder. Because they got to keep the best of 4 cards on top of their library. So that means they probably like what they have. So we'll go turn 1, Shredder. What'd you keep? No Ulamog for you. Okay, they play Ugin's Labyrinth. Devour probably goes under that. No, all is dust. Okay. They play Trinisphere. That slows down my hand quite a bit, actually. Okay, I'm not playing anything in my hand this turn. I'll just play my Overgrown Tomb tapped and pass. I think next turn, I'm not under a lot of pressure right now, so I think I just cast the Lantern. Hey, people are liking Lantern this league. I can mill them for free. They do have a forest, so they might have World Breaker, but... Okay, what am I doing this turn? I did want to Lantern. I think I hold on to the fetch for next turn to manipulate my own top card. Okay, don't want them to have the ring. Opponent's responding, probably with Kozilek's command. We got maybe we're busy chatting to each other. Maybe you got carried away. Nice, but okay, it is Kozilek's command for 3. I should not have done this main phase. I forget they have instant speed card draw, so I should have waited till end step. They probably would have Kozilek's commanded at the end of the turn anyways. Oh, they do have a World Breaker. Okay, so blind milling them can be a problem. Okay, they can cast World Breaker too. If they want to. Seems like they want to. Sure. Cast trigger. Targeting. Lantern. I will make them shuffle in response. They do not get to have that one ring. So this turn I'm going to play a bridge. I'll start with the Mortuary. Graft Diggers is not important. I'll run out Bridge. World Breaker can't attack now. They do run a playset of Karns, though. And there are still 3 rings floating around in that deck. I don't like that. I don't know what their hand is anymore. I'll just close that. Okay, opponent plays Myco Spawn. I imagine they start working towards Tron. They might grab Urza's Saga as well. Oh, they have a ring anyways. Okay. That's not good. So I think what I'm doing this turn is slamming down a cookbook and discarding one of my talismans. I don't... Normally they only run 1 or 2 World Breakers, so I shouldn't expect them to draw another one this turn. They have pretty much all the mana they could ever want, so this is not good. Start combat, discard a talisman. Hey, they have their own talisman. Black-green means that they run Dismembers in the sideboard, like 99% of the time. More lands is not good at all. That's very much not what I'm looking for right now. I mean, realistically speaking, I think... No, I still want to dump my hand. I was gonna say, I'm tapping out my Mycosynth Gardens so that my Ensnaring Bridge is exposed, but quite frankly, I don't think... I'm fighting a losing battle. I think I'm just taking some risks here. I just need to get my hand empty and put as much on the table as possible. That's my assumption. I'm not cracking these fetches because if I draw a Lantern, I want to be able to get some extra looks at the top card of my library. Opponent's playing 6 mana, so they probably found another Myco Spawn. That is indeed the case. They have assembled Tron. They did it. Classic turn 7 Tron. Oh, they found Karn. Okay. Things get much worse. They downtick Karn and find Cityscape Leveler. So I am in a very sad state where I'm basically just looking for a way to protect my bridge now. That's not it. Okay. We'll go to the next game. Alright. Terra Sunders come in. Necromantia comes in. Damping Sphere comes in. Surgical comes in. Cookbook comes out. Cage comes out. Inquisition probably comes out as well. What are the last cards to come out? I think because I have ways to tutor for bridge, I can get rid of 1 bridge. I think this is fine. So Necromantia and Surgical are to try and find ways to get rid of Karn in the ring. Surgical can also hit Tron pieces, although as we saw that game, they don't really need Tron in order to go off. That Trinisphere blew us up, though. Like, I should have been able to dump my hand, like, by turn 4, probably, and have a good lock going, but that slowed us down substantially. Terra Sunder's good. Codex Shredder is bleh. This is a 4-land hand. I'm not really expecting that I'm going to be dealing damage with Urza Saga. Their creatures are going to outclass mine fairly quickly. I have better 6s than this. How does this one work? Turn 1 Lantern, turn 2 Pixis. I'm stuck on 1 mana for a little while, but I do have interaction. That's all at 2. This is a risky keep. It does have Needle. I think in this hand I bottom the mirror because I'm furthest away from casting that. This is I can understand not keeping this and going to 5, but okay, let's do Overgrown Tomb. My turn. All right, cool. We hit the land. They have a Karn. That's bad, but I do have removal for it. So I can Needle Karn out the gate. I'm gonna have to fetch away this Damping Sphere. I don't think I can take the tempo hit of just leaving that on top. I'll fetch out a Swamp. Terra Sunder on top. Okay. I'll put this on Karn because I know that they have a Karn. Even though, realistically speaking, Karn is kill on sight. That might need to go on the ring instead, but they have 2 pieces of Tron. How does Myco Spawn work here? I don't want a Terra Sunder. Well, actually, Terra Sunder's good against the ring. They're not at Myco Spawn mana yet. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna draw this Terra Sunder. I think I trophy one of their Tron pieces, and I have so much interaction. Do I want them to have Myco Spawn? Not really. I'm not gonna fight over it too hard. They can have it. I do wanna... I think I want to get rid of that Karn. I don't want this Bauble, especially not with the Trinisphere out. I need a land, so I have to do this for me. I think I say no to World Breaker. Ah, Kozilek's is so bad for me, but okay. Okay, I need to pop this Trinisphere. Okay, there is a bridge. That's good. My opponent is about to create a massive wall of Eldrazi Scions. Actually, that's only for 3, right? Okay. That's not the end of the world. I can fight through that. They probably do something about that first. Chalice has entered the revealed cards zone. Interesting. I think Trinisphere is fine now. My hand is basically empty at this point. Damn, that's right, they have the Myco Spawn. Okay, they go tutor a land. Ooh, they have an Ulamog. I don't like that. Okay, and then opponent plays Chalice on 1. Gotcha. I'm debating if I want to draw this bridge right now. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana, 8, 9 mana. They're close to this Ulamog. Or, well, it'll be 8 if they try and pick up that Ulamog. I think I still need the bridge, so I'm just going to crack the Bauble. I'm going to draw this bridge. Let's see what the next card is. That's a land. Okay. That's good. So I can crack in for 4. And crack the Bloodstained Mire. Damping Sphere will be very helpful in a moment. So Expedition Map can find Tron piece number 2. Damping Sphere shuts that all off, though, so they probably don't bother. Okay, lots of mana pass means that they probably have a Kozilek's Command. I don't like that. They would cast it in response. Yep, Kozilek's Command for 5. 5 is a big number. They choose Cityscape Leveler. Or wait, no they don't, sorry. Let me scroll down. Oh, they didn't look for cards. They just made more Eldrazi spawn. Oh, right, because they're trying to get to Ulamog. Ulamog whacks the bridge. Let's see, they have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana. Yeah, they can cast Ulamog. Then they can take away the Pithing Needle and the bridge. And then Karn can just get there on its own. Like, they don't even need to answer Damping Sphere if they don't want to. So I think the thing that I'm noticing with this brew at the moment is that it's very slow. I'm finding places where my mana is getting squeezed and that I don't have the time or resources to cast Beseech the Mirror at any point. Like right now, I can't even cast it. It's turn 7. Like they did attack 2 of my permanents, but okay, bridge is gone. This is my opportunity to spin into a bridge. Okay, so I can exile Ulamog with the Terrace under. Okay, start a combat. Get rid of that thingy. They still haven't casted Karn, which is interesting, because I wouldn't be able to do any more Lantern Lock shenanigans the moment that they cast Karn. It doesn't matter that I can't answer it. They didn't know I had a second Terrace under. Although I guess they knew I was holding on to a card for a hot minute. Alright, new Myco spawn. Gets rid of the gardens. Yep. I'm debating... Oh, where are they? Okay, now they're casting Karn. Okay. I have to crack my own Lantern and find a bridge and get lucky. That's my out. It's a Codex Shredder anyways. Okie doke. Sure. I have one more turn. Okay, they have a Trinisphere. That doesn't really matter. So something to note off of Beseech the Mirror as well. Let's take a look at what they got. Why can't I cast this? Do they have... Can I not? Oh, they have protection from the ring. That's right. Alright. You know what? Like I said, this is the good vibes this... Oh my god, we haven't won a single game in 3 matches. Oh, that's bad. Well, at least it's been good vibes for 2 players. Or for games 2 and 3. On to match 4. Okay, it's a new day. It is the morning. I'm still kind of groggy, but we got 2 games to play. Match 4. Let's get a win on the board. That's my goal. Ideally, I win at least 1 match, but if I win a single game and it feels like convincing, then I think I'll be happy. Okay, we're on the play. This is the 3rd Gigantha deck that we've played against this league, though. So this could be Jund, it could be Boros, it could be... This hand is Bridge and Double Saga. It does have a cookbook, so on the off chance we're playing Prowess or Burn, it does have that plus. Against Boros, cookbook isn't the worst thing in the world either, and I have some removal if they have a Najani. Or just their scariest threat. Am I crazy in thinking this might work? If I flood out, I have the cookbook to get rid of stuff too. Yeah, I might be crazy, but I'm gonna keep this. I think I shock in the tomb first. I don't know if my opponent's gonna play very differently between if I'm an Asmo deck or if I'm a Lantern deck, so this turn 1 cookbook probably doesn't throw him off too hard. Alright, turn 1 Gyda-Souls. So it's Boros. I think that's probably the indicator of what Gigantha is. I keep thinking like, oh wow, Gigantha, I'm going to be playing against a deck that's going super fast, but in reality, I think Gigantha these days just means that it's supposed to be some energy shell. So I can hold up Trophy, or I think I want to play a Saga, get that tick up. That means that I play the Lantern here. Oh, that's not good. Do they get to keep that? I think they get to keep that. That doesn't answer bridge. This will fetch a swamp. What I could do as well, I guess I could just pass the turn without doing anything, and Catacombs can fetch a swamp, and then I can trophy. Once the bridge, or once the moon resolves. I think I'm discarding the second saga. I'm not too worried about firing off bridge right away, especially if I have another land on top of the deck. Well, I'm gonna have to crack this actually, so I don't know what my top card's gonna be. I think slamming a bridge is the safest bet. Oh, Talisman on top is nice. No, because if I slam a bridge, they play Moon, then I can't trophy away a Static Prison later. Oh, no, yes I can. With the Talisman, I can do that. Cool. We're good. Pretty sure this is as good as it gets for me. Yep, I slam the Moon. That makes sense to me. Yeah, so they're going to get a couple extra swings in here, but that's okay. Run out the Talisman. Run out the Shredder. Okay, I'm probably going to mill my own Thoughtseize? That may not be correct. I still don't know what's in their hand. Okay, Amped Raptor. Finds an Ocelot Pride. Yeah, I don't need Thoughtseize at this point. I'm pretty sure that they would have slammed a Static Prison if they had one that turn so that they could avoid the Thoughtseize. Okay, so I'm taking 6 this turn. Taking 8 this turn. What am I looking for? I do have a cookbook that I can empty my hand. So many triggers. Yeah, I guess I'm looking for a land. Okay, I'm gonna pass the turn. If I'm gonna trophy the moon, I'm gonna do it on their turn. Because I want them to draw the Sacred Foundry that's in their hand right now. Okay, rack, combat. I'm gonna needle a Johnny on end step. Oh, they just have another moon. Okay. Maybe I don't needle a Johnny in that case. I can just grab a forest. Just guarantee that I can cast any of my top decks in the future. Oh, right, I don't have that. Never mind. Alright. Second Talisman will get us there too. Do I care? Actually, I don't care about any of the green spells that I have. I have a cookbook. I can just discard them. So this Talisman, I'm just going to discard. That's cool with me. They're drawing more lands. I'm going to go to end step. I know that they're just spamming lands at this point. Cracky food. Crack another food. I don't want this beseech. Alright. Oh, they're flooding. Oh, I didn't notice they put Giganta in their hand. Okay, so that was the mystery card that they had. There's so many things that are automatically being triggered on turns now, just watching this game history. I'm looking for more rocks and stuff. I don't like that. I can't cast those. I'll grab the Pithing Needle for a Johnny, because we haven't seen any yet. I want to be able to shut that off. Snickoddle Avengers, the angry side. I don't like them having Fable. So I will mill them for that. I think I'm going to keep this Lantern because I can make them shuffle. It's a temporary stopgap. Because I only have one mill rock, I don't think I can be too picky. I guess I could have milled myself. I didn't have to draw this land. Whoops. I'm trying to go too fast. I'm 2 minutes behind on clock, so I'm just trying to go fast. But okay, I don't care about them having a Johnny anymore. Oh wait, whoops, I almost auto-passed through the turn again. I want to mill myself. Oops. Candy Trail's cool. Let's do some scrying. These are both mountains. Pass again. Amped Raptor's a little scary. So I do need to think about that one. I think I mill that. I'm not about to pop a Lantern. All these triggered abilities. Oh, okay. It's just gonna make me click through all those. I'll just pass through it. Let's mill that raptor and see what's on top. Bolt is absolutely fine with me. I'll crack a food. I want to crack this candy trail at some point, but I can't have any cards in hand. So if I see a land on top of the deck, then I don't think I can reliably crack the... Oh, actually, I could do it right now, though. And then I can... Yeah, let's play the land. I'm at 25. I think we're good now. I think I'm lagging, though, because I'm losing more time than my opponent is. I don't like that part. Okay, they're on an amulet build. That's good to know. I'll run out the cage. Cool. Alright. Yeah, I'm losing a lot of time between turns. I might just try and board really quickly. And if I can board fast enough, then I might try and restart the client. Because they run Blood Moons, I think the Besieges have to come out. Okay, I just restarted my computer as fast as I could. This hand looks mediocre, but fine. Okay. I'm just trying to conserve clock as much as possible. My computer was super sluggish waking up. But, I accidentally left it on overnight, and sometimes if I do that and I run intensive programs, then, it causes the client to mess up. Yeah, this feels more responsive. So they will go turn 1 Ragavan. I think I'm on turn 1... I can go turn 1 Glimmervoid Shredder. Where they run Static Prison, they could just Static Prison the Shredder. I'll go Mortuary. I'll leave that on top just because I know that Ragavan's going to hit it. I know it's not a Thoughtseize that Ragavan's going to take away from me. Okay, Bond 2s is going to be very important. Alrighty. Do I get to board wipe next turn? I suppose I could have... Nah, I think I'm going to trust that they don't flip a Johnny right away. They flip... Lantern. Okay. Well, they're more than welcome to cast that. Flage is fine. It's not great, but it's okay. Oh wait, no, it flipped over at Johnny. Got it. I should have realized they were going to flip over their own stuff. So I'm really in the business for a needle. Let's see what their last card is. I can Terrace under that at Johnny next turn as well. Okay, it's just a land. Cool. Oh, I can't do it next turn. I have to wait 2 turns. Because my lands don't untap. So Saga's gonna pop. I can grab a Lantern and try and slow them down. Check out this in hand. Okay. Oh, I can grab a Needle for a Johnny right now. That might be better. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I can't guarantee that Terrace Under has any good targets right now. Oh, wait. Oh, my Talisman. Oh, no. I could have played a Pixis. Oh, that's really bad, actually. Oh, okay. Okay. We're on game 3. I'm on the play. I have 11 minutes. That's doable. I think I need... I don't think I can just assume that I spin into the bridge. Well, actually, I can, because I have 3 Beseech the Mirrors as well, and I have a Talisman to ramp me there. So I can turn 1 Inquisition. Okay, Static Prison, a Johnny. A Johnny's gonna hit for a lot, but Static Prison guarantees that they remove the next bridge that I play. So that's gotta go. Talisman. Actually, I could have Lantern locked. Good thing they have a land on top. It's in a Johnny. So they can bolt their own Ajani next turn. They're also swinging for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Eesh. Don't like that. So that's 5. That's going to be another 5 damage from Ajani. Oh, no, they don't have any red creatures. Oh, it just needs to be a red permanent? Another red permanent. So the amulet will cover for that. And they're not going to draw a land next turn. Okay. I don't think this brutality makes sense unless they tap out next turn and Ajani doesn't flip over. So if they just run out an amulet next turn, then I can collective brutality pick off the Ajani. Oh, I missed a card along the way. Okay, oops. Just kidding. You have a static prison. I think them grabbing Codex Shredder isn't the end of the world, so I'm not going to fight super hard on that one. So I think I have to crack the Lantern on their Ajani. And then I have to collective brutality their other Ajani. I can even take their bolt away right now. Kill that, kill that. Tap for mana. And then I'm just going to need to spin into a bridge. Or I could also spin into Beseech, but they're probably going to Blood Moon this turn, so I'll probably need a bridge. Or maybe not. They don't see what's on top of my deck. They probably don't bother with Blood Moon yet, because they're applying pressure. So I could Beseech this turn. Okay. I'll crack a Lantern. If I draw Mycosynth Gardens, there was a mention yesterday that this might be bugged. Okay, there we go. It shuffled at least, so. We did not get there, but we did take a game off of them. Rip. Match 5 time. Let's close this out. Match 5. I'm determined to get one win with Beseech. Oh, I boarded out those Beseeches in match 4 in Boros. So I did have to just hit a bridge. I wouldn't have been able to hit Beseech because I took them out. Okay, we're on the draw. We have... Oh, no. Okay, so how does this work? I can turn 1 Saga, turn 2 another Saga, Talisman, Inquisition. I can bobble along the way, and then turn 3 one of these sacrifices, and I get an Ensnaring Bridge. I also could play another Talisman and then an Ensnaring Bridge the following turn. This seems very funny. I think I understand if you mulligan this, but... Oh, Devourer of Destiny. Okay, so it's some Eldrazi shell. So on the bright side, I'm finally starting to play some tier lists with the regular basis. Like, this Beseech deck has been playing against a lot of Boros and Eldrazi, so that means I'll finally get some reps in against some tier lists, because before I was playing against a lot of off-meta stuff. Oh, Carplusion Forest means they're probably on an Eldrazi aggro. I like that. Oh, I have a land. I can play more, I can play like a sane person and not run out Sagas both turn 1 and 2. I'll bobble them now. They're not gonna Thought Knot next turn. Okay, they kept an Ugin's Labyrinth on top. It's good to know. Oh, it's through the breach. I'm sorry, Carplusion Forest should mean breach. Yeah, doi. I misidentified the deck. It is technically an Eldrazi aggro list, but Labyrinth puts Devourer of Destiny under it. So this turn I go Talisman. I know this Inquisition's not going to do anything, so maybe what I do is that I Inquisition myself and just take the other one out of my hand, because I have a lot of cards in hand right now. We'll just show them that Ensnaring Bridge is on the horizon. The good thing about playing against Breach is that they almost certainly don't have a way to remove the Bridge main board. They might have a Boseiju, maybe, but that's probably their only interaction. They might have a World Breaker as well. I think sometimes they run a single copy of World Breaker. Okay, they run out Cavern. They probably play Mycospawn. They're tapping like they're playing Mycospawn. Yeah, okay. Okay, draw step time. Saga ticks up. Play the other one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I can talisman. Cool. And slam a bridge. Pass the turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they can Myco spawn and get rid of my Urza Saga. Okay, they've tapped for 5. Tapped for 6. So they are going to Myco spawn and kick the Saga. They really had to think about that one and settled on another Eldrazi temple. They must have just been looking to see if they could get out of the lock here at all. Which, you know what? Understood. Fair enough. Run out the Shredder. Part of me is thinking about trophying their Ugin's Labyrinth, but I don't think that really matters. I think I'd rather trophy on something big that they cast that... like, Devourer of Destiny doesn't do anything when it's on the table. It's just a big dumb 6/6. Hey, I haven't seen Grove of the Burn Willows in a while. That's cool. Yeah, so I'm just gonna make a Saga token. Let's grab a Lantern. This is a deck that runs... Actually, you know what? I don't care what's in their deck, except for the Emrakul's, and I can't control those right now, so I think I'm just gonna fix this. And just start blind milling. Oh, I should have played out the cage. Oops. Play cage. Pass the turn. I got Kozilek's command. The fact that I don't have surgicals makes the Emrakul's a lot harder to get rid of, because all they have to do is put one of them into their hand. And then I have to go and make them discard it. So I think I'm very much in... Nah. Yeah, so that's going to be annoying. I'm going to be looking for things like Mycosynth Gardens to copy more Pixie. Yep, Kozilek's command. They're really having to think over this one. I guess that's fair, right? Like, my opponent needs to answer bridge. It's all about the bridge, really. That's the only thing they can control. Other than just sticking an Emrakul. Or putting an Emrakul in their hand, rather. That's the only thing that they can really do besides answer bridge, and just hope that I don't mill out. That's right, they are a deck that runs the One Ring. I think that I'm just going to run this out now. I don't think it really matters what I target with the trophy. This just keeps my hand nice and empty. Oh, I should have done Pixis as well, though. Oops. That's my bad. Opponent is going to draw some cards. And Kozilek's command again? Yeah, you might as well just sack all the Eldrazi spawns and make a bigger one. It's for 15. That's a few. End step, I might crack this Shredder to get another Urza Saga. Oh, they're undoing it? Now what are they thinking about? Okay, nothing. They're thinking about nothing. They do get a bigger Kozilek's command if they wait until they're fully untapped, but, I mean, realistically speaking, you're gonna Kozilek's command for 15. I don't know if you need to do that. Okay, they have Ancient Stirrings as well, sure. Oh, they do have Boseiju. Okay, so... They need to show me... They need to show me that they can... They can Emrakul, which they almost certainly can. Oh, doesn't that Wilmog have, like, Annihilator of whatever's in exile? It's a very large Annihilator. I'll shock in the Overgrown Tomb. I could have grabbed the Surveil Land, actually. Now we're spinning Kozilek's command. On main phase. Do they still not have an Emrakul? Really? Are they just hard casting one? Oh, they're just hard casting one. How many permanents can I afford to sacrifice? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I can't sacrifice the constructs, so I need to keep I can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I can sack 1, 2, 3, 4. What is it? Annihilator 6. Okay, so I think I have exactly enough permanents to crack the shredder and get back this bridge. I'm gonna do this before I forget. Yeah, I still have enough mana to crack the shredder, so I can do this. All right, you're gonna do that next turn. I don't know. We could shred them for fun. I forgot they get an extra turn. The mana doesn't matter here. I'm an idiot. I don't untap. I am my own enemy. I am my own worst enemy. Why would I mill them? Okay. that was embarrassingly bad. Okay, hold on. All right. Surgical. Surgical comes in. I don't think Damping Sphere comes in. Bontu's probably doesn't come in either. I think it's these 5. Cookbook definitely comes out. Cage comes out. Crimbobbles. Send it. Hope this works. Yeah, that would have been really funny too. I would have loved to see my opponent try and swing in with Emrakul. We survive with literally 1 life, and then I could have slammed the bridge with exactly enough mana and 2 blockers up. That would have been so cool. Oh, I whiffed it. That was such a weird starting hand too. This is turn 1 Candy Trail, turn 2 probably find a land and Talisman, and then I can play a Shredder, and then I can Terrace under the whatever they have on the table. This doesn't answer a turn 3 through the breach. So this might be wrong. But the hand functions mostly. Alright, they keep their 7. What do they exile? Ulamog. The new Lamog. There's a land. I just realized that my opponent wouldn't have killed me on my turn if I top decked a bridge. I still could have won the game. I still could have stuck around for a turn. That's equally infuriating. I didn't even have to scoop. Land pass. I think early on it's fine for me to Codex Shredder them because I can mill over in Emrakul early. And then it doesn't really matter. Oh, well, okay. They can just flute me. Putting it on Shredder, probably. Oh, okay, they're taxing the bridge. Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense, too. Milieu. Ah, no ramp for you. You know, Whir normally can get around things like Disruptor Flute taxing effects, but Beseech the Mirror can't. That's annoying. I think I'm gonna pop this Candy Trail first. Because I still want to hit my land drop. Thoughtseize is also fine. Okay, Emrakul through the breach, Kozilek's command. They have 3 mana, so they just need 1 soul land and they're good to go. Or they need 2 lands, or they need the Uggin's Labyrinth. So I think I just take the through the breach. And pass the turn. Yeah, they can do Kozilek's command for 1. Are they really going to do that? I guess, yeah. I guess they don't really have a lot of good top decks. And if they whiff on a land, they bottomed their cards, so I'm not going to mill them in upkeep. Stone Brain. Okay, well, I have to hit that with Terra Sunder next turn. Swing at me with the spawn, you coward. No! Don't take my bridges! Oh, okay. I forgot they can sack the spawn for a minute, though. Not that I could control any of this, but still kind of sad. Oh, they named Lantern of Insight. Interesting. So they still need a lot of things to get going on their end of the table. So I'm not in a terrible spot. Perfect. So next turn I can bridge. They find a land. Blow up that flute. Oh wait. Yeah, they need to tap for green. Perfect. Flute is gone. You know, I could even spend a turn, cast Beseech the Mirror. These shredders aren't great anymore. So I could just Beseech the Mirror, pop a shredder, find Surgical, and then I can get rid of these Through the Breaches forever. And then they're stuck hard casting these things. I could also Beseech the Mirror for Necromentia. That's probably better. And then I can name... I can name Boseiju, which I know that they can target the bridge with. I'm not sure what other things they run. They don't run Wastegapes, do they? They might run Wastegapes. But then if they top deck Through the Breach... No, they need a land. Black, black, black. Actually, wait, hold on. Mill them once. Mill them again. Okay. Cast with Bargain. Black. Black, black. One other. Necromentia. Oh, I could take out the Emrakuls. That makes my life easier. But they do eventually hit Boseiju. I think I technically have to name Boseiju here. Do they have anything else? They have nothing else. Okay. They do have Thought Knots. That would be annoying. Okay, so they're going to Kozilek's Command for 3. They have 2 other Stone Brains in their deck, too. Those are also things they could top deck. Okay, so looking at the deck list, it was much safer to slam a bridge because they only have one thing that can answer a resolved bridge, whereas they have 4 Thought Knot Seers, 2 other Stone Brains, and 2 Disruptor Flutes, which slow down my Ensnaring Bridge. So this could have been very reckless from me. Oh, they just hit Breach. They just hit Breach. Well, this would have also been solved by an Ensnaring Bridge, so... That I should have considered that as well. Sorry, yes. So, yeah. Necromentia on Through the Breach. Or sorry, no, not even Necromentia. I could have just casted Ensnaring Bridge, and next turn I could have gotten cute and removed the thing that gets rid of the Ensnaring Bridge. Alrighty, so I did some reflection. I took a quick look through some of the replays to jog my memory so that I could give you guys an accurate reflection of my thoughts on this deck. So obviously, we won 1 game out of the what was it, 11 games that we played. We went 0-5. It was bad. I think I could have won some of those matches, and I think some of this was unlucky draws and unlucky pairings, but I think that still sends a message about my overall sentiments about the list. So, first thing that I want to talk about is how Beseech in particular failed this league. Let's compare it to Whir of Invention, since that was one of the main reasons that I wanted to test out this deck in the first place. So, first off, Beseech costs 4 mana. We saw that this meta is very aggressive. So, having a deck or a card that costs 4 mana compared to Whir, which typically will cost 3 mana, is a big deal. So that alone is already a knock against Beseech, even though the casting cost is friendlier to the deck. A second problem that we came across is that Beseech casts the spell that you tutor with it. This didn't really seem like a big problem on its face, because I figured, like, you know, we play against a counterspell deck. They would counter the Whir, right? And so, like, the fact that they could counter whatever we get off of Beseech doesn't really matter too much. That's the same thing. However, one big distinction or a few big distinctions that we saw when we played Beseech was, first off, playing against Trinisphere. Beseech, like, you can't cast spells for free off of Beseech if your opponent has a Trinisphere out. That's really bad. If your opponent casts a Chalice, and Beseech is targeting a 1-mana card. I don't think that came up this league, but that's something else that, you know, Beseech doesn't stop that, even though Whir gets around both of those cards. So that's a big knock against Beseech. If your opponent has a way of countering free spells, like Vexing Bauble, for example. Vexing Bauble isn't very popular in the meta right now, but that's another thing that Beseech gets blocked by. There was one other example I can't think of off the top of my head. But, yeah, Beseech has problems, I think. Even, like, if the 4 mana wasn't a big issue, it still gets stuffed in ways that Whir of Invention doesn't. One thing that I think this deck didn't capitalize on very well is that Beseech the Mirror can tutor for non-artifacts. As we see in this deck list, though, the only thing that we're really tutoring that costs more than 1 mana is either Assassin's Trophy or Ensnaring Bridge. So I think in order to really utilize Beseech the Mirror's potential, you need to have some more top end, where Beseech the Mirror can tutor out like a Karn the Great Creator that you run like 1 or 2 copies of, or like a board wipe in the main board, or a Planeswalker that, like, maybe Ashiok, I guess, or it's like some Stacks Walker. Or some value Planeswalker that can sit behind a bridge and accrue value over time. Even like a Sheoldred. I don't know. Sheoldred might be a good one to add to the list. There's a lot of creature removal running around, so that might not work. But yeah. So in short, I think this list in particular is very bad. And doesn't capitalize on Beseech quite the same way that an optimized list in this form can. So I think that this list can do better. I think it can be like a 1-4 or a 2-3 list. I don't think it's going to go positive very often in the leagues, at least in the current meta, but I think it can line up in the right format where it is powerful. I think Beseech can have a home in the future, but it needs a lot more love. Somebody's going to need to dig out some weird tech for it. I wasn't able to do it. But yeah, more love needs to be tossed towards Beseech, and I think in a meta where there's less Trinispheres and Chalices and things that are very aggressive, I think Beseech could do okay. But I'm going to shelve this idea for now. Yeah, we'll go to the outro. So thank you everybody for watching. I've appreciated all of your support thus far. If you have any suggestions, please do pop them in the comments or ping me in the Lantern Community Discord. The link for that Discord will be in the description. Please do check us out. There's the community is constantly growing, and it would be good to have. It's always good to have more participation in the community. The link to this deck will be in the description. It'll link to a folder with all of the decks that I've played on stream. Take care, everybody.